It begins not with passion, but with curiosity, the kind that feels harmless at first, a glance held too long, a sentence that lands heavier than expected, a presence that quietly rearranges the room. Henry and June is not a film about sex in the way people assume. It is a film about attraction before action, about imagination before intimacy, about the moment when fascination becomes a force that cannot be ignored. Released in 1990 and directed by Philip Kaufman, Henry and June arrived wrapped in elegance, literature, and controversy. It was the first film in American history to receive the NC-17 rating, a label that immediately shaped its fate. Some saw it as bold, others saw it as dangerous, but very few actually understood what the film was trying to explore. Set in 1930s Paris, the film places us inside a city already romanticized by history. Cafes filled with writers, dim apartments alive with conversation, art spilling into everyday life. But Kaufman strips away nostalgia quickly. This is not Paris as fantasy. This is Paris as temptation, as collision, as emotional risk. At the center is Anaïs Nin, played with quiet intensity by Maria de Medeiros. Anaïs is not searching for scandal. She is searching for meaning. She writes obsessively in her journal, recording sensations, doubts, contradictions. Her inner life is rich, restless, and deeply private. From the beginning, the film makes it clear. This story belongs to her perspective, not as a muse, not as an object, but as a mind awakening to its own complexity. Then comes Henry Miller. Loud, charismatic, chaotic, and unapologetically self-absorbed. Played by Fred Ward, Henry crashes into Anaïs's life like a storm disguised as confidence. He talks endlessly about art, freedom, and truth, but his presence is unsettling because it exposes everything Anaïs has been suppressing. He doesn't seduce her with touch. He seduces her with language, with permission, with the idea that desire itself can be a form of honesty. And then there is June, mysterious, unstable, magnetic. Uma Thurman plays her not as a rival, but as an enigma. June exists almost like a projection, a figure both real and imagined, admired and resented, desired and feared. She becomes less a person and more a mirror, reflecting Anaïs's own contradictions. What Henry and June builds is not a love triangle, but a psychological geometry. Each character pulls at the others in different ways. No one fully possesses anyone. Control shifts constantly, power is fluid, and desire is never simple. The film unfolds slowly, deliberately, refusing urgency. Scenes breathe, conversations linger. Silence carries as much weight as dialogue. Kaufman is less interested in events than in sensations. The feeling of being seen, the fear of wanting too much, the danger of losing oneself inside another person's orbit. This approach is exactly what unsettled censors. When the film was submitted to the MPAA, it was not violence, language, or explicit imagery that caused concern. It was intent. The film treated adult desire seriously. It refused punishment. It refused shame. It portrayed sexuality not as conquest, but as exploration. And that was enough to trigger panic. The NC-17 rating effectively limited the film's distribution. Many theaters refused to screen it. Advertising was restricted. Some critics dismissed it without engaging with its themes. The label became a warning sign rather than a classification, and yet the irony was unmistakable. Henry and June was far less graphic than many R-rated films before it. What made it threatening was perspective. This was desire told from the inside. Anaïs' journey is not about liberation in a triumphant sense. It is about destabilization. The more she allows herself to feel, the more uncertain she becomes. Her marriage, her writing, her sense of identity all begin to shift. The film never frames this as empowerment or downfall. It frames it as consequence. Desire opens doors, but it also erases boundaries. Henry, for all his confidence, is deeply insecure. His bravado masks fear, fear of irrelevance, fear of limitation, fear of being truly known. His philosophy of freedom often collapses into selfishness. June, meanwhile, exists in fragments. She resists definition. She disrupts every space she enters. And yet she is also trapped by the roles others project onto her. The brilliance of the film lies in its refusal to simplify any of this. There are no villains, no moral lessons delivered cleanly. Everyone is complicit in their own confusion. Everyone is searching for something they cannot fully articulate. Visually, the film reinforces this instability. Soft lighting blurs edges. Interiors feel intimate but claustrophobic. Paris feels alive but enclosing. The camera often stays close to faces, emphasizing breath, hesitation, uncertainty. This is a film about interiority, and everything from framing to pacing supports that goal. Over time, Henry and June has been reevaluated. What was once dismissed as indulgent is now studied as a turning point in American cinema. It forced a conversation about how adult relationships could be depicted without exploitation. It exposed the limitations of the rating system, and it highlighted how discomfort often reveals cultural boundaries more than artistic ones. Today, the film is remembered not for its controversy, but for its restraint, its intelligence, its refusal to sensationalize what could have easily been reduced to spectacle. It is a film that trusts its audience to think, to feel, and to sit with ambiguity. What does Henry and June ultimately say? It suggests that desire is not a destination, but a process. That self-discovery is rarely clean. That intimacy can illuminate and destabilize in equal measure. And that art becomes threatening not when it shows too much, but when it tells the truth without apology. This is not a film about scandal. It is a film about consciousness expanding faster than comfort allows, about the moment when curiosity crosses a line and there is no clear way back, about the quiet realization that wanting something deeply can change you, even if you never fully act on it. Henry and June endures because it doesn't shout, it whispers. It invites you in, then leaves you alone with your thoughts. It doesn't ask whether desire is right or wrong. It asks something far more unsettling. Who are you once you stop pretending you don't want? And once that question is asked, there is no rating strong enough to contain it.